We're now going to hear from Howard Ebison from Hammerson. Howard is at Brent Cross and he's going to explain how Hammerson have put their centres to good use during the pandemic.
Hello, I am Howard Ebison. I'm the Operations Director for the UK and Ireland for Hammerson, and welcome to Brent Cross, our retail destination up in North London. Now, we are only a couple of weeks away from the opening of non-essential retail in England, with Scotland just a couple of weeks behind, all going well. But one of the things that we do know about all of these different lockdowns is that each one has been a little bit different. So as we come out of lockdown 3, it is going to be all about testing and vaccinations. So what does that mean for shopping centre owners and property owners? Well, here at Brent Cross, we've opened a testing centre, and Ollie from Express Test is going to tell us a little bit more about this. So, Ollie, I can get a free NHS test for my kids, or if I want one. So why would we need another testing centre, and why would I pay for it?
So Express Tests offer PCR tests that allow you to travel. So when you get to the airport, an NHS test will not allow you to board a train or board a plane when you want to go abroad. So you will need a travel certificate, which you'll only get if you book an express test or another private provider, which shows your passport number, the time you got the test and the time your test was resulted. And that's a PCR test that allows you to travel abroad and to other countries.
Great, so we hear about PCR tests, we hear about lateral flow. We run properties and shopping centres. We don't know about all the ins and outs of this. So what's the difference between the two of those?
Yes, so a PCR test is really the gold standard in COVID testing. So what PCR can do is it can pick up COVID at a really low level. So let's say someone has just contracted COVID. If you have a PCR test, you'll be able to pick it up at a really early stage before they're actually contagious with the virus, and that's really important for safety. So if we can get people at an early stage, if we can tell them to self-isolate and take them out of contact with people and keep everyone else safe.
And that's different to lateral flow, which is...
Yes, so lateral flow test is a really useful tool, but only catches the virus at a much higher level. So this is when you're really contagious with the viral, but it gets those people out of circulation. But the key thing with lateral flow is it can give results in approximately 30 minutes, which is obviously really good if you need to get a quick turnaround, especially when you're testing a lot of people. So it's a really useful tool, but PCR is the gold standard in COVID testing. So we opened 2 weeks ago, and we've already done over 1,300 tests in those weeks. So despite travel not reopening yet, there's been a really high demand for PCR COVID testing. So we opened to 2 weeks, and we have a capacity here of 384 tests per day. So we're ramping up for that towards summer, and we're waiting for that May 17th date that the government has said they may allow some travel, and test centres such as these are going to be really important for any return to travel this summer.
Excellent. So from a property owner's perspective, we will have spaces that are open or car parks that could be used for other purposes. I mean, we're talking to you guys about other locations in our portfolio. No doubt you're talking to other property owners as well about how to make best use of their space during this really difficult time.
Absolutely. So we found car parks in shopping centres such as these are really brilliant locations for our testing centres. They provide adequate space for us to be able to set this up and assemble it really quickly. As you can see here, we have a 4-lane capacity, and we just set up the testing booths and the canopy, and it's a really simple assembly. And we found that these sorts of sites and car parks are really good, and especially because they're very accessible to people who are travelling from within 45 minutes away. So it's really easy for people to access these sites.
Ollie, that's really helpful. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. So in terms of next steps for us, that's all about testing. Let's go and have a look at a vaccination centre. So welcome to Central. This is Hammerson's shopping destination in Croydon in South London. We've come here to have a look at the vaccination centre that has opened up here recently. Now we're indoors, so of course masks on, and these are clearly going to be with us for some time through 2021. Health, hygiene, testing, vaccinations, we said that this is going to be a key feature for the rest of this year, and the way that we've gone about being able to open this, which was one of the first vaccination centres in London in a shopping centre, there's been a huge amount of collaboration. Now, our retailers are of course incredibly important to us, and actually we found that we're going to talk to one of them who's actually had his vaccination in this vaccination centre. So, hi, you are Duncan, that's right?
That is right, yes.
And Duncan, which shop do you run here in Central?
101 Records, been here for just over 30 years.
101 Records, just been here for 30 years, that's fantastic. Now, Duncan, am I right in thinking you've been vaccinated in this vaccination
I
centre?
have, yes, just this week.
Excellent, and how was that experience for you?
It was great. The convenience, speed, organisation, absolutely perfect.
Fantastic. Now, you've worked in this shopping centre, you run your own store, that's right?
Yes, sir.
You've been here 30 years. Can you ever imagine that you'd end up having a vaccination for something like this in this centre?
Absolutely not. You used to go to a doctor or a hospital for a vaccination, not a shopping centre. So it's certainly a new turn of events, definitely.
Excellent. And I imagine you're looking forward to reopening and being able to get back to selling records.
Oh, absolutely. As long as Boris keeps his promise for mid-April, then we're up and running and ready to go. And yeah, quite frankly, can't wait.
Duncan, absolutely fantastic. All the best. Good luck with reopening. Good luck with all your preparations. And I look forward to shopping soon.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. So as we're gearing up for reopening, I thought it'd be useful to have a chat with our general manager here at Central. So this is Jo. Jo, hi.
Hi, Howard.
Thanks for your time.
No worries.
So Jo, it's been a really tough year for retail. We've had to say goodbye to some of our loved brands. You've had some changes here as well, haven't you?
We have, yeah. We were really sad to see Debenhams exit the scheme after so many years, but delighted to welcome the next outlet who have taken the space. They only opened for a short period in 2020, but it was really well received, and we can't wait to get them back open in April.
That's really good to hear. Now, we've just seen a Deliveroo rider going into Starbucks. That is not something we would have seen
No.
a year ago. What's been happening here with these guys and takeaway and deliveries?
They've said that Deliveroo and Uber Eats is taking 50% of their business at the minute. So 50%. So they're doing really, really well with that. But you know, it's a different operation for us. We need to look at how we manage their vehicles and how they're coming in and out of the centre. But we're just trying to make it as easy as we can for them.
And also, you've had a unit that's been empty for a while. That you've got this amazing new leisure operator coming in.
We've got Flip Out, who are opening one of their super centres in Central, a space that's been vacant for over 10 years. And they're fitting out now, and they'll be open in the summer, and it's going to be an absolute game changer for Croydon and very, very exciting.
And we're going to expect to see this, aren't we, for other retail properties, that actually certain space that was used for traditional retail is now going to be used for leisure. This has got an ice rink in it, I think.
It's got an ice rink, bumper cars, laser tag, all sorts of things. But yeah, it's a great example of repurposing and how we're using our spaces for something very different.
Great. Now, the vaccination centre, we are all really proud of this. And for shopping centres, this was one of the first in London to open in a shopping centre. Now, if I got it right, this space that the vaccination centre in, that was empty for years, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that was the old food court, again empty for 10 years. Really, really lovely use of the space, and a great way to help the effort of getting the country back to some sense of normality. It's a mass vaccination centre, so it's going to be at full capacity, vaccinating up to 1,500 people a day. And we're so proud of it. You know, one of my sayings has always been, you know, we're not saving lives here, people, but actually now we are, and we're ever so proud of it.
So up to 1,500 people a day, and when are you expecting them here until?
They are here until at least September, but they have the option to extend.
Right, so I mean, we talked a bit about health, hygiene, testing, vaccinations. This is clearly going to be an important part of the rest of 2021, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And how amazing that we've got space here that we're putting to use that is going to help us get out of this pandemic, and how amazing to be part of the solution.
It's been fantastic. The team have worked so hard to deliver it, and we're, you know, like I say, we're just really proud of it, and really pleased to see it in operation.
Well, from a property owner's perspective, because this of course is for Revo, we cannot do anything without our operations teams. So a huge thanks from us, and to all of the operators out there who are getting ready to get open and to hopefully deliver some supportive retail trade for the rest of this year.
Really looking forward to it.
Thanks, Jo.
Thank you.
Thanks. So you've heard about hygiene, sanitation, cleaning, testing, vaccinations. This is clearly going to be an important part of the rest of this year. We hope that all of our retail partners are managing to open successfully, smoothly, and that they trade as much as possible for the rest of 2021.